Let's get into the other monster, though. One that we'll table it. It's all leaks. What are we going to call it for this conversation? Is it a Quest 3 or Quest Pro? Like for just to keep the
I think we'll
banter.
say Quest Pro because the latest leaks, you see it looks a little bit more business sided or productivity centric to some degree.
It's
Some
always
of
the
the leaks,
leaks. Yeah.
yeah, some of those leaks made it look a little bit more productivity centric. So for that, we'll say Pro as in professional, not in this is an upgraded device as in it's for professional use.
So
Well, I guess we'll go that route.
we'll go that route, and let's frame this, man. I'm interested in your thoughts right now on all this. We're gonna go through the leaks that have been out. I want to give a little disclaimer on this one because I find leaks, and I did this on the tweets I do now. I'm not sharing leaks anymore. I'll share the info out there, but like, hey, if you're interested in finding out more about this, other people will have it. But this is what is out there a little bit, but I'm not going to share the videos because I think some people like to be surprised. This event is by the time this video goes live, will be in 2 days. And some people like to be surprised. So if you do like to be surprised, there are some visuals in here that could or could not be something that may or may not be announced at Oculus Connect. But I think that's fun. So Facebook Connect is coming in 2 days from the time of this video. How do you think it is going to go? In your overall vibes, it being the possibly final big hardware announcement of this season, are they coming in strong? Is it just timing that worked out? Or what's your opinions?
I honestly think the competition knows they're not going to have anything super impressive to announce hardware-wise, and that's why everyone like swept in right before them, kind of steal their thunder. But they can't. I mean, I could be wrong, but they can't announce a new headset that splits their development into yet a third product, and actually it's potentially 4 at this point because they still have their developers on the Quest 1 development, Quest 2 development, PC development, which I know, kind of Quest 1 support is going out the door. It'll start to end next year. Again, no solid information here, just speaking from the gut. And then PC support, they're not developing anything exclusively for PC, but all developers who are making their games, they're going to still want to drop it on PC because that's another, 1-2 million potential customers. So they're still going to want to drop it there. I know they're in the OpenXR, they're using OpenXR now, so that makes development multi-platform a lot easier. But to split it into now like a upgraded piece of hardware, it's not cool to the consumer. It's not cool to the developer. I don't see us getting like a significantly upgraded headset. Maybe we'll get an XR2 chipset that isn't underclocked because they'll include a better cooling system. Maybe they'll include bells and whistles like eye tracking, facial tracking. But I think the performance that you get if they have a new product won't be any better.
Before we get into some of the leaks, and we're not going to go one by one, but I'd like to hear your opinions on some of the ones that you thought were fun. When it comes to this holiday season coming out, whether it's the Quest 2 that sells or if something does launch, I have no idea. How does that impact the landscape? Is this another monumental leap forward for the normalcy of a headset? I'm not caring which one it is, but does this help the normalcy of wearing something on your head and gaming and or being productive? Or is this just probably a small step for future years down the road, all opinion wise?
Yeah, I think it's a small step. I mean, we know Facebook is approaching that 10 million customers in their ecosystem. So that's mostly Quest 2s, probably like 6 million or so. Mm-hmm. I don't have access to those numbers.
I don't think no one does.
No one does. I know. But based on, some stuff we've seen here and there, it's probably around that right now, probably a little actually higher. So even though that's a pretty significant number and shows that it's going to pop off and become pretty common most likely, I don't know. It's going to be a while before it's like mainstream where people are just like sitting around the kitchen table mid-conversation and just put this thing on, like cut off their conversation like we do with our phones now.
Yes.
Could you imagine years ago you were sitting next to someone at a table and they just stopped talking to you and like opened up a book? And like, it would be like, well, what are you doing? or started doing crossword puzzles or something.
That is a really fun analogy. Wow, never thought of it that way. That is, yeah, you're right.
So now we're there. So like to get to that next step of anti-socialism, like to just be like, oh, you're mid-conversation, I'm just going to put this over my head and go to a different world because it's better. I think it's going to be a little bit longer before we get there.
That's fair. Out of those leaks, and I have the videos, so whatever one you say will pop up on the screen, but what excited you the most out of those potential leaks or potential videos that came out?
I think it's just more the fact that everything we see just validates everything we've seen before.
As in, what do you mean?
Not to describe them too much, but we saw controllers without a ring.
Oh, I'm gonna put them on the screen. Okay. So if you say, I have all the videos. So if you tell me which one you're doing. If you're doing wireless charging, videos up now.
Yeah. So they show the controllers that are going on a charging station and they don't have a ring, and that's something we previously saw that that we'd be getting controllers like this. So it's just more validation. I mean, I guess we knew it was true. But now it's like, we know for sure that we know it's true.
Yep.
And that's like, whenever you see that, like, yep, knew it. Yep, we knew it. We were right. Like that, I don't know. That always feels good. I don't really care for the productivity stuff that much because I cannot imagine using a headset as a monitor right now. The Quest, even with my Kiwi, super plush strap that I wear now, I still wouldn't want to wear it for more than 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I don't see it as productivity. You have the same giant monitor as me. I know you love your monitor as much as I do. The 49-inch ultra wide. They're fantastic. I couldn't, for people who don't want to buy a monitor like that, having the option, that's great, but it doesn't excite me.
Let's be honest, though. They can buy, 5 headsets for the price of the monitor. So the accessibility is amazing.
Yes. Yeah, and that's one thing they're always exceeding at Facebook, the accessibility for everyone. But at the same time, I don't think it's for me. Some of the metaverse style stuff looked kind of cool. Again, I don't know how they're gonna deliver on that. I'm super skeptical of metaverse.
Is that kind of like the workstation thing you're talking about, where they jump in together? I got that.
Yeah, they jump in together. Like they join a call, they chat. They have the cool avatars. You see the avatar in the beginning that's dressing herself.
Yep.
So
you got the. What do you think about that full body tracking possible solution with a mirror?
I don't. No. I mean, I know Facebook would love to get in on that full body tracking because that's one thing people always say, well, you can't get full body tracking on Oculus Quest. So I know they'd love to, figure that. I don't know. I got to see it. I don't use full body tracking too much, but I think something that was also discussed in the Pimax Frontier event today is to normalize or naturalize a VR environment. We need, our full bodies tracked. And I agree with that. And it is a huge impact. It really is.
It really is. It's interesting. I know this kind of goes back to what topics, but they were saying they're on VR 3.0. I didn't even realize until that meeting we were on 2.0 because I haven't defined it. But if they say that's 3.0 and it works, they're right. I don't give a shit.
You're right.
You're right.
If everything they said works, they're right.
I'll say you're right all day long. I'll never argue with you guys.
4.0.
Yeah. You tell me where we're going BCIs next, and that I believe you. Amen.
Right here. I actually got one right here.
Next Mind.
Yeah.
Let's bring that up in a little bit because I got a couple more things. Dealing with Oculus. Resident Evil 4. I know your review went out. You were pleasantly surprised. I'm curious. It was awesome watching. I'm gonna keep this all in an Oculus Quest clip. It's just I watched Twitch one day. I think it was the day RE4 launched, and it was pages on pages of people, not VR content creators. Well, they are now technically, but just people that never ever did that, streaming Resident Evil 4 on Oculus Quest 2. I thought it was beautiful. It was a very special moment. Do you think it was this bubble of just what we see on social media because it's present? Or do you really think maybe this type of game, old ports specifically designed for VR, are they really that impactful?
There's definitely an impact here. And the only other time Twitch popped off with VR content like that was Half-Life Alyx.
Yep.
So that says a lot. I mean, that definitely says a lot for sure. Resident Evil, they made a right decision. You know, it's a beloved title, pulled a lot of people in. I honestly don't want to see a world of old games rehashed in VR, though. Like, I know, like, at BioShock, I'd like to see Dead Space. Sure, there's a couple we can name that would be great in VR. But I want new IPs. I want, I don't want this new tech to be utilized to rehash old stuff.
What's the pros and cons to there? Like, what is the... I would assume the cons outweigh the pros for you, if that's the route you're going to go into a little deeper. Like, why specifically? What's the problem with, like, if I had to play devil's advocate, what's the problem with porting over new IPs?
Yeah, so I'm being purely selfish here. Like, I don't want to go through my old library and just replay it from a new perspective. That's it. Like, even as much as, like, I'm a huge fan of, like, Mass Effect. Mm-hmm. Would I want to replay the series in VR? I don't know. Like, I don't know. Maybe, but I don't think it's enough. I also feel at the same time, it might introduce things into VR, like, like the cutscenes. Actually, I was having a conversation.
Yeah,
I was having a conversation with GT about this. Like, that's not the way to do cutscenes in VR. It's just not. But there was really no way around this, so it's acceptable in RE4. But like, VR, when it first dropped, was all about immersion, like creating these immersive environments that make you feel like you're there. And the Oculus Quest rarely ever does that for me. And I feel like if that's going to be the new norm, it's going to be take old games, bring them back, and make them work on the Quest. That's not the type of VR I want. And I don't feel like the technology is being utilized to its full potential. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm not a fan of that direction.
Hit that subscribe button to stay on top of the daily clips, or catch the debates and Fireside Chats live on the main channel down in the video description. See you next time, Space Cowboys.